Okay, and we are recording. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Health Chats Among Friends. My co host is Sherrain Myles. Sherrain, say hello.
Hello, everyone.
And today we are so honored for our very first talk to have Sue Wallace, the icon, the legend. Sue Wallace here as our guest. So, hi, Mama Sue.
Hi there. How is everybody?
Miss Sue Wallace, real good now that you're on with us.
Yes, yes. So we like to give everybody a brief synopsis of what we're doing. We are just having nice chats, candid talks among friends who are in healthcare. So Sue comes with a tremendous background of knowledge. She's just amazing. She's one of my mentors. I love her. I love her. I love her. So, Sue, tell us a little bit about you and why you got started in this business.
Well, I work for Southwestern Bell Telephone Company, and one Christmas I was a member of a community action team, and we went to Arlington Villa, and we entertained the seniors there. It was Christmas time, so we dressed up like Santa and the elves, and we just had a marvelous time with them. Had never really been around seniors that much, but when I left, I felt like I had made a tiny bit of difference in someone's life that day. It was one of those experiences, that you have, you can't get it off your mind. And a couple of days later, I told my husband, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I said, I have been so blessed through my life, and I want an opportunity to, be around seniors and things. So I think I'll just be a clown. And he looked at me and he said, well, that's perfect, Susie. You've been a clown all your life. And so I started clowning around. I went to clown school actually, and I became a professional clown.
You were
I
serious.
am still a professional clown, but when I would be clowning with seniors, it was different. My heart was different, and so I think that's actually when my love affair with seniors started. In about the early 90s, God began to speak to me and asked me to not just be playing with seniors, but to be working with seniors. And oh my goodness, I had every excuse in the book because I didn't, I, I told him I wasn't a social worker, I wasn't a nurse, I had never been around them, I didn't even know if there's anybody that could use the help that I had, and so forth and so on. And that really went on to my embarrassment for a couple of years. I just told him I had to have a regular job. I couldn't do something that was totally unknown, all that. But then in June of 93, something happened to give me the courage to step out literally on faith, because there were no businesses like mine out there that I was aware of. And I started assisted services, which was one of the first personal assistance companies, April 1st, 1994.
Wow,
And,
awesome.
and then in 2003, and I really didn't know what personal assistance was. God had just laid it on my heart to be able to help people remain in their home as long as possible by doing, some functions there, helping them maybe get groceries and help them get to the doctor, maybe be there when they're taking their, you know, bathing or showering or whatever, help around the house a little bit, just help them remain in their home as long as possible, because that's really what most of us want to do.
True.
And
Wow.
then in 2003, the state of Texas decided that personal assistance was a needed industry. So
Wow.
kind of
So
how
you
it
were the
started.
leader.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you were the
trailblazer.
leader.
Well, one of the leaders, I mean, I can't be sure that there was no one else out there, but as far as I know, I was among the first, we'll say it like that. So it
Wow.
was such a blessing. And of course, I started it just with myself. I was the caregiver. So I learned how to be a caregiver from the ground up. And then when I got more things than I could do, well, I had to hire people, and so the story goes on from there. But been a blessing. I'm so disappointed in myself that I missed 2 years.
Oh, no, don't
I could
be.
have had 2 more years, helping them. But I always tell people I'm a perfect example of if God tells you, instructs you to do something, He will put people and opportunity in front of you, and in order to do that, it doesn't mean that you don't have to work hard, because I've worked really hard, but He will give you the means to do whatever He tells you to do. And this is what I was meant to do my whole life. And
Wow.
so it's just been such a blessing to be able to know what my purpose is here on this earth. So that's it.
That's an incredible story. I have one
Yes.
question for you. What have you seen that has changed in terms of what it was that you offered initially, as opposed to what you offer now, or what you see other companies that are doing differently than what you did in 1994?
Well, in the personal assistance realm, the answer to that question is that many of the personal assistants now have kind of an arm, a skilled care arm. In other words, they are either contracting with a nurse, or they have a nurse on their staff, so they can give both skilled and unskilled care. So they just have a one-stop shop kind of thing. So I think that's what I'm beginning to see now. So
Well, it's amazing too, because lots of people don't know the difference between a medical home health company versus a non-medical or private duty home health company. Can you help elaborate on that a little bit?
surely, personal assistance services is what it's called, and it is we're under the same umbrella for licensing purposes as home health, hospice, and dialysis agencies. But personal assistance is kind of, of course, it's kind of the new kid on the block, but it also has a different designation, if you will. It is for it's non-medical. They have classified us as non-medical. So we couldn't do something like draw up a syringe of insulin for someone that was a diabetic. We could watch them do it and make sure that they drew up as much as their doctor required them to do, but we could not draw that. We couldn't stick their finger to get a blood sugar or things like that, or fill a med box. We can do medication reminders, but we can't fill a med box. So we cannot do anything of a skill nature, and that's what they determined that they needed. Now, we differ from those other agencies because the other agencies can accept Medicare and Medicaid for payment, and personal assistance cannot accept that. It's private pay, or if they have long-term insurance or possibly VA insurance, then we can offer services to the client.
That's awesome.
So that's
That's
really
awesome.
pretty much
Yeah.
the difference there.
Yeah, yeah, and I tell a lot of people that usually with the medical home health companies, you have to have a doctor's order for a nurse to come in and do an assessment, but the nurse is not going to be there 24/7 or anything like that. They may prescribe an aid, but the aid is going to be in there for a short amount of time, very limited, other than going with a company such as the one that you started. So
right, and we can be there longer. That's the other difference. We can be there when home health. We work in tandem with home health and hospice agencies all the time, but when they have to leave because they are there for typically shorter periods, we can stay. So we could go anywhere up to 24 hours a day, and we can pretty well go into whatever environment. In the home, we can go into an assisted living or a retirement center, or we can go into the hospital. And sometimes that's necessary just to maybe make sure that the family can go home and get some rest and things like that. So,
so you're essentially an extra set of eyes in an environment where there's usually a certification period with home health or hospice. If they discharge from hospice or they discharge from home health, you're still there, and you can be that person that says, or the people that work for you, the caregivers, can be those people that say, maybe we should look at revisiting home health because I've seen this.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We do that many times. When we see that maybe they're just not, they become more fragile,
Sure.
or they become where they are just not able to walk as well as they used to. It is that extra set of eyes, and for the family too. So we can let them know exactly how they're doing, on a daily basis. We do keep journals, and most companies work with an automated time reporting system. And so they make a call from the person's house immediately when they get there, and their time starts and the billing starts. And then they do that at the end, along with listing the chores that they did or the assignments that they did that day. So it's really a good accounting system, much better than we had when we first started, because we would have to write everything down in journals. My company always did journaling, and because we felt like it was necessary. Now it's just automated. So.
Well, I want to say this too. The very first time that I met Sue, she was just so warm and engaging, and it's just a wonderful feeling when you can approach someone that you can see that they have a heart for what they do.
Yeah.
And that's what I want people to know, is that everyone that's on these calls have a true heart for what they do. They have a true passion, a calling. And so we thank you for being here tonight. I mean, I'm just so happy.
Well, it's been a pleasure for me. I always like to talk about it. It is absolutely my baby. I have been doing it for 26 years now. And so I think that we're just an extension, of help, and from home health didn't really know what to do with us, or maybe the healthcare industry when we first started. But now they just welcome us with open arms because we work in collaboration with them.
And you've been such a wealth of knowledge and a resource just for me, much like what Deidre said. When I met you, I know I had questions. I usually had 14 questions per person when I go to events. But I remember when I met you at Continuity of Care, I believe it was. And when we talked, you had so much information. I want to say that you were a speaker, and then I came up after and had 14 questions for you that day, and you were so kind and patient to answer them all. So yeah, you are. I would challenge anyone that is listening or that's watching the chat tonight to definitely reach out to you, because you do have so many answers, and you're such a valuable resource in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you having me.
Well, a true leader. And it's fun to know a little fun tidbit about you, that you're a clown.
You're a clown.
Well, you might not recognize me when I'm all dressed up as Possum the Clown, but when you hear my voice, it gives it away every time.
Oh my goodness. Do you do magic tricks or anything like that?
Well, actually, what I do with it mostly now is I do a presentation called Celebrate the Clown in Me, and about the history of clowning, why I became a clown, and then I ended on a motivational message about laughter therapy. And I can even take someone from the audience and transform them into a clown in about 6 or 7 minutes. So it's a lot of fun. So
oh my goodness.
Anyway, so laughter gets us through those good times and bad times, and that's what I try to tell people. And so the clowning works hand in hand with what my philosophy is. So.
Oh yes, yes. But what would be a good tip for anyone who is wanting to start a private duty home health company? What would you give them? No, let me rephrase that. What would you tell someone who is looking for a private duty home health company? What would be some of the things that you would say they need to look for?
Well, I think first of all, you hit on it a while ago, is that you got to meet maybe the owners or the people that are going to be helping to provide that care, because
Yeah.
you have to have a heart for this business. It's a low paying industry because we are not compensated by Medicare or Medicaid. And so therefore it is a low paying industry. And so the people that are what I call stickers, the ones that stay, are the ones that are in it because they have a love and want to have a desire to really help people. And so I would look for a company that's stable, that's been there a while. I would want to talk to the management of the company, and then you can just tell. It's kind of like I tell people when they're looking for maybe a place to a community to place someone, is that you just have a feel, you kind of just know that you found the right place. And that's the way it is with personal assistants. Also, you want to know what their minimum is, or if they do have a minimum, and if they have, what their rate scale is. That would be very important in making your decision. And then what services do they offer? Do they go for 24 hours? Those kind of things. Where do they find their caregivers? What do
Great
they
question.
do to evaluate those caregivers to make sure that they are qualified to do the care that's expected of personal assistance companies? And do they do drug screening? What kind of background checks do they complete and so forth? Those kind of questions. Or they can just call me, because I have a whole list and I can
Yes, you do.
give it to them. I can give them that and I'm happy to tell people about personal assistance anytime they need it. So.
Yes. Sherrain, did you have anything?
I just think that anybody who is looking for personal assistance needs to call Sue.
That's right.
I can't help them. I can send them to the right person. That's for sure.
And that's sure what it's all about. It's about, maybe my services don't fit, but I know someone that I, like and trust that I can send you to. And so that's wonderful. What would be your advice for healthcare in the future?
Oh,
especially during COVID.
It's changing. It's changed because of COVID. And
right.
And we have to be extremely careful now because we work with that vulnerable age group of people. And so we want to be sure that we have all the precautions in place, and that we make sure that the family has all the precautions in place, because we want to protect our employees as well.
Yeah.
So, but, I don't think any of us know what's going to happen in the future. Hopefully, I'm the eternal optimist, so I believe we're going to have a vaccine. I pray for that every day, because my sister had polio when I was growing up, and they found a vaccine for polio. So I feel like we've got such intelligent minds that we're going to find a vaccine for this dreaded disease. But until then, we have to be extremely careful. So I think that's kind of what we have to do at this time. We have to make sure that we're taking all the precautions we can, and to protect both parties there. So
it takes a village.
Yes, it does. We have to work together, that's for sure. And it just, that's what I love about personal assistance now, because when I started, it was kind of unknown, but I went to everything I could go to, because I was not a nurse. I was not a social worker, and I needed to learn, and I still do. And then you learn so you can help families, indirectly or directly, to get them to the right people, because that's important. It's important that people really have a heart for this. It's not just a job, obviously. It's not just a job. I wouldn't be here for 26 years. It was just a job, I don't think. So, but it's my life work, and I'm so glad that God selected me to do this. I really am. So, and thank you, ladies. It's been nice to talk to you.
Yes, amazing story.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yes, we sure do. Thank you. And how can someone get in touch with you?
They can call me at 817-371-9640, or they can contact me by email. That's S. Wallace, and that's WALLACE, at Sue, SUE, That CSA stands for Certified Senior Advisor. That's the certification that I have. So.
Right, right. Well, Mama Sue, thank you so much for your valuable time. Sherrain, do you have any closing remarks? Tell them a little bit about you.
Yes, I'm Sherrain Myles with Sherrain Myles Professional Services. I too want to thank Sue Wallace for all the valuable information she's given me, given us today. And if you or anyone you know is interested in our healthy talks, healthy chats among friends, then definitely reach out to Deidre or myself so that we can get you on and have a healthy chat with you about what it is that you do.
Yes, we want to help educate the community. So thank you everyone for your time. Please tune in a couple weeks. We have another amazing guest that's going to be coming on. And thank you again, Deidre Kindred, your Nurse Advocates. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Right. And end. Okay. Let me stop recording.